Hi guys, Carcer back again with a few more games of Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2. Managed to get another few games up over the weekend, so I thought I'd just go ahead and produce another video with them. Why not? So in this first game we are up against Dean 460, who is going to be flying the Imperial Navy. Reasonably spread out points, but that's not usually an issue with Imperial Navy anyway. I'm still rocking the Blood Axe fleet, so we're going to be doing the usual tactic. We're going to use the escorts to capture some points, and then the main fleet is going to try and sneak up the map and get the jump on the enemy ships. So straight off the bat, we're just going to target the decks. It's always a good idea. With Imperial Navy ships, I mean, aside from the obviously the fact you can get them to break and run away, prevents them from going into stances. With Imperial Navy ships, I mean, both reload is usually a thing you want to avoid, stop them from getting their torpedoes up quickly, and also brace for impact if they go for the ramming prows. Makes that slightly less effective. Unlike the Tyranid Jaws, Imperial Navy ships do still take damage when they're making frontal rams with the powered rams even. So anyways, he's fired out a beacon. I just want to make sure that doesn't hit my fleet. I mean, it looks like he's sending it probably towards that bottom left hand point where I've got a couple of escorts capping. So I'm just going to pull my cruisers out of the way, and just make sure they don't get spotted when it deploys and increases its visual range. If the escorts get spotted, that's fine, it doesn't really matter. So it seems to be a battleship and 4 cruisers, just based on the speed that they're travelling at. Haven't seen any sign of any escorts yet. So I'll just boost those guys into the cloud over there and get them re-stealth. Looks like one of those other escorts got caught, so I'm just going to do the same thing with him. And then back in to capture that point. See if the enemy fleet starts heading in that direction, and then we'll try and head them off. Okay, so we've got a couple of Nova cannons at least. Don't think I'm really going to get out of there. Okay, well, he didn't die. That's fine, we can just get him repaired. So there's definitely at least 2 Nova cannons in this fleet. So yeah, we definitely want to be getting the jump on them. We don't want them to have a chance to fire those off. Obviously, due to the way that the orc boost mechanic works, and the fact that you don't have any special maneuvers other than, you know, their big red button all head full, you're very, very vulnerable to Nova cannons. Seems to have a couple of invisible ships there as well. That's weird. I had heard about this bug. I think this is the first time I've actually seen it happening. Not sure whether they appear or not. Whether they appear invisible to the enemy or whether it's just to me. Looks like I'm going to catch a few Novas with that trailing escort. Yikes. But still alive, just. Okay, yep, so they're all Nova armed. Okay, it's got to creep up a little bit closer and then we can start pounding on them. And we're going to get their rear from when we do open fire as well, which is great.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
See if we can get some boarding actions off. I'm not sure if they have any fighters available. Okay, doesn't seem so. That's great. So that's to get 12 boarding actions off on that first ship straight off the bat. We managed to do some lightning strikes on the enemy flagship, so we're just going to avoid those Nova cannons and just charge into knife fighting range. Oh, they do have hangar bays in those ships. Okay. Well, hopefully they'll be shot down before they can do too much damage. I have taken a few boarding actions, have I? No, those are bombers. So while all that's carrying on, we'll just get the escorts to come and cap just in case. But yeah, I think we got the jump on these guys pretty good. So I think these cruisers are going to be going down momentarily. It's going to try another flight of strike craft. I'm not sure if the fighters are going to survive long enough. No, unfortunately they got shot down. There we go. So that's a couple of mutinies after that last tractor ram. Looks like he's trying to stay in reloads. He didn't get to go into brace for impact. Okay, I think one of those ships copped it from the Nova Can. I think it was just the flag, but no major damage done. And now we should get the juicy bum of the enemy flagship. So tractor will be up again in a few seconds, so if he tries to rob it, then we'll just shove him into the bubble for safekeeping, which is what he's doing. And I think that's pretty much that, yeah. Oh, I didn't notice that first time playing, please don't mind. Sorry, JD 460. Well, at least his first time wasn't some Eldar bullshit. You know, at least he got a chance to fire his guns off and have a bit of fun in this first match. And up next we've got a guy called Novice. Again, we are going to be facing off against the Imperial Navy. But is he a novice though? Let's find out. So we've got a nice tight cluster of points right in the middle of the map there. So 4 points all very close to each other, and then an outlier up in the top left next to the enemy deployment zone. So that's cool. We should be able to grab those nice and early with our escorts. And then also engage the enemy in probably roughly the same area, so we'll actually be able to use our escorts offensively once the points have been capped. So I think we'll head up, not on the extreme left, but we're just going to head on this left hand side, and then we should be able to dive in on them, because you've got to assume that they're going to go for that cluster of points in the middle as well. So we're going for the left rather than to the right of the points, just because I don't really want to fly through all those asteroid fields. I mean, the orc ships have got plenty of HP to tank the small amount of damage you take going through asteroid fields, but I don't think it's really any need. So we've got a cluster of 4 ships. Are they all? Yeah, it looks like they're all some kind of line ship. And then a single outlier over on the left there who's capturing that point. So no sign of any escorts yet, just keep an eye out for any of the capture points starting to go before the blips arrive at them. Okay, so the top left, that captured fairly quickly, but not super quickly, so I'm guessing that must be either a cruiser or a battle cruiser. Probably a battle cruiser rather than a battleship. But we'll soon find out because we're all heading towards each other. Just keeping an eye and ear out for any beacons or fighter launches that could give away my position. So I don't think I'm going to have enough time to capture this sort of middle left hand point before one of the enemy ships reaches me. So I'm just going to put one escort ship in brace for impact in the point. He's not really there to cat, but he's just there to spot the enemy fleet. And then the other one he's with is just going to sit in the adjacent gas cloud and just wait for an opportunity to do something, whether it be more spotting or heading up and backcapping.
You got it. The enemy has seized a strategic area.
So should be able to capture this point easily enough now. So it's going to send them round the long way, and then they can do the back cap over there. With the Imperial Navy games, it very rarely comes down to capping. But okay, so we've got one destroyer over there. Hasn't spotted my fleet yet. Okay, so we've got a nuke down. That's good. And okay, so I'm still not spotted in the bulk of my fleet, but they're going to know where I am because I've been firing. Looks like a Nova cannon again. That one doesn't have one though, so it is more of a mixed fleet this time. Yeah, it looks like it's mostly torpedo ships with just the one Nova. Right, see if we can get a bit of a pile up in here. Angle's not great for catching all three, so I think I have to just settle for two. But we've got a nice bit of damage there. So the far ship just dropped all the lightning strikes onto him, and then we'll concentrate on firing at the nearer one. Hello there. Okay, so there goes the enemy flagship. Yeah, I think we're just gonna go straight after him. Let's get a few more boarding actions off. Unfortunately, yeah, all the bombers got dragged into that fireball. That's a shame. Oh, well, right. Not that it really matters. I mean, we're focusing our firepower on enemies who's probably going to go down pretty quickly. I mean, even a battleship can't stand up to this amount of mega and heavy cannons. Just drag him back, make sure he stays right where we want him. We do have a mutiny on one of the cruisers. Yeah, that was the one that we did all the boarding actions on. So we're just going to turn our ships to the side here. That way our side guns can hit both these ships simultaneously, while also firing the mega cannons off of that mutiny ship. Just not really necessary. Okay, we had a few torpedoes coming out from that bottom ship there, but I think most of them got shot down before they reached us. About to get caught in a stasis bubble. How did the stasis bubble go off? Flagship's dead. That's strange. Oh, we'll just pull him in. Nice bit of damage in the ram there. I think he's pretty much too close for torpedoes in any of my ships just now, so don't have to worry about that. 26 boarding actions, yeah, that ought to do it. Oh, got one more destroyer down here, didn't even notice. Yeah, there's the GG. So that was fairly straightforward. Went much in such the same way. We got nice and close before we revealed, managed to get our ambush off. Okay, so he's not quite such a new player. God, yeah, that was a real mixed bag of ships that he took. Okay, and the final game in the video is going to be against Archaist, who is a very good and experienced player. So this time it looks like he is flying the TIE Protector fleet. Archaist, I know he used to use orcs a lot, especially these Blood Axe stealthy orcs, so he's more than familiar with all the bullshit I'm about to try and pull on him. So I suspect he will be able to counter me. And I'm not quite going to get to my way like I have in the last couple of games. But yeah, I've got absolutely no idea what he's going to have taken for this Tau fleet. I mean, Tau are one of those fleets where there's not just like one real meta fleet. There's quite a few different ways you can play them and be effective, especially against orcs. The thing that I really hate to face with this particular fleet is a TIE fleet with a lot of war spheres. That is no fun at all. Because these, you know, terrors and hammers, they're good brawlers, but they're nowhere near as good as those war spheres are.
Here we go.
If you're going to be running into that, you get better hope that you've got a lot of Dead Knot Ord's Guard Dakas, or it's going to be problems.
Stop shooting.
So he's gone down that left hand side of the map as well, with whatever he's got up there. Seems to be making a beeline for an asteroid belt, so I think that that might give me a bit of an idea of what I'm dealing with here. So again, we're just going to take out the decks. Watercast Diplomat isn't nearly as effective as it used to be. It did get nerfed some time ago, so it's not like they're going to be unbreakable. Yep, there we go. Okay, so it's just fuckload of Demiurge. Shite. Okay, so one of the fighter squadrons you sent out does look like it's on an intercept course with me. I'm just checking, it is diverging slightly from the side of the map, but not enough. That's definitely going to hit me. So I may as well. Okay, I'm just going to send out a couple of fighter squadrons to intercept that. And hopefully they'll get there and prevent them from spotting me. Although he's still going to know where I am, at least I'm not going to be spotted.
You have seized a strategic area.
Okay, so they were able to deal with them fine. So let's carry on creeping up the map. Do I have another invisible ship again? Looks like. So I'll just continue capping with these guys. I mean, there's certainly, yeah. I mean, it's going to be a one of the Tau light cruisers is going to be lurking around somewhere nearby. He must be keeping it fairly close to the Demiurges if he hasn't started capping that that kind of middle point up at the top there. Okay, So there's an escort down here, so they've just pinged all my ships. It's unfortunate. So the demiurge ships, they've got pretty good turning rate, but they're not the fastest. So I shouldn't have any issues chasing them down. I'm just going to dodge this volley of torps while my fighters kill his. Okay, so that went fine. And
you have seized a strategic area.
Okay, let's continue capping.
Enemy ship sighted. The fight is over.
So we did briefly spot an enemy escort there. Okay, I'm just gonna head back to the demiurges. So what's going to be all important when we do have our brawl? The important thing is going to be to not let them fire off those fucking cutting beams. Or I mean, they're going to fire them off, but I just want to make sure that they don't hit their intended targets because they're all fully charged and they can. I mean, between those ships, they could probably kill 2 unshielded cruisers or battle cruisers. So caught in a bubble, not really an issue. Bubble's just going to catch all these torps, so I'm not going to eat many of them, I don't think. I think the bulk of those are going to get shot down. Okay, so our 1 squadron of fighters is going to make it through, so we'll just pop a bubble of our own, see if we can get them to move. Okay, here they come. Right, wait for it. Okay, so cutting beams are going off, but they're kind of going all over the place. Perfect. Yes, okay, good, that went well. Right. Now, yeah, looks like another one got blocked. He did, yeah, oh man, just that one cutting beam just did so much damage to that bottom right hand ship of mine. So we want to try and get around them. They do have excellent frontal armour, but they've also got a really good turn rate, so trying to get any kind of angle on these guys is difficult. Okay, there goes another cutting beam off to nowhere, perfect. As we have this battle though, we are going to create debris which is going to allow them to charge up their cutting beams further. So we just want to keep it nice and close, just not really give them much chance to manoeuvre. Right, so now that I've done my capping, we can start trying to track down, there he is, right, the enemy flagship. So he's just sitting right there. Looks like he's firing off some secret missiles into the melee. We do seem to be coming out slightly ahead. Maybe we were. Yeah. So we've got 4 ships. He's only got 2 left. Not particularly great amounts of health or morale left in any of my ships though, unfortunately. And okay, here comes the enemy flag. Right, so now we need to get all the fighters, all the escorts involved. That sucks. Okay, so now lost decks on those 2 ships. Flagship is dead. Just going to pop off some more boarding actions on the demiurge with the red crew. Because of the increased maneuverability of the demiurge ships, then he's able to keep his front facing to me, and I'm basically stuck with my weak side armor facing his, 83 frontal armor. Okay, we've hulked one of the demiurgs, plus he's on a sliver of health anyway, so he'll be dead soon. So, we got a mutiny, perfect. Okay, so there's the enemy flagship. So I think my remaining hammer is about to mutiny, but we should be able to take out the rest of his. Should be able to take out his flagship just with our escorts. We've still got all 7 of them. They can pump out a hell of an amount of firepower when they've got them on reload stance. Plus, we'll be able to keep them perma scanned as well. GG, satisfied. Okay, yeah. Arcades knows what's up. So that was a good match, very close. Could have gone either way there. I think it was, yeah, it was fairly critical. Was that tractor ram just as everyone was closing, which just messed up all the cutting beams. Well, most of the cutting beams. Because if they'd been able to wipe out 2 of my ships at the start of the fight, then that probably would have been it.
You are close to victory, but
I know, it was good. Well, it was good fun playing Archaist again. Dwarves, yeah. Yeah, good match that. Well, the multiplayer scene, I mean, it's not been quite as active as I thought it was going to be with the sale, but I suppose just because the nature of these skull throwing sales, it applies to all of the Warhammer games. So I guess your audience is kind of split a little bit, but it looks like we've certainly up in a kind of record number of players at the moment. Well, not a record number, but a lot more than recently. So hopefully a few of them will start moseying the way over into multiplayer soon. I know some of the guys had some 2v2 matches going, so I'll maybe try that for the next video. Alright, thanks for watching guys, I'll see you in the next one.